Hello. Just waiting. Where are they? Here we go. Coming in. Hi.
Hi, darling. Wow, my screen's very...
You need to clean it with a tissue or something. That's better. That was weird.
Oh, that's better. God knows what that was. But I'm just in the kitchen tonight.
Oh, okay. You must be spattering and cooking.
I've got dinner in the oven and I'm scared if I walk away, Neil's going to burn it.
Yeah.
So if I black out my screen and that, I'll I'm just getting dinner.
Yep, no worries.
Out the oven.
Yeah, no good. All good. Just don't burn your tongue when you eat it.
Yeah, how you feeling?
Better, yeah. My tummy's been a bit funny on and off, so just all this new energies and alignments. I mean, that started at early hours of the morning, so
yeah.
It felt better. So thank you for the energy work that you've been sending me, because I have had little waves of clarity feeling, like then my tummy will feel fine for a while and then it might come back, but now
I'm sure,
it's just a bit, it's nothing big,
I feel like I've been sending it all day.
Yeah. So it's interesting because I feel like you're up leveling how you're sending your energy. Like do you feel drained or like it was hard work or it was just an awareness?
I am energized.
Yeah, right. That's the way.
So I feel energized. So I know that's good.
Yes.
If I'm drained, I'm not using the.
No, I definitely feel like there's been a shift in the openings and channels and how it, maybe it's not so direct across sort of, earth kind of feeling. It's more of a through quantum set. I know you do quantum stuff, but there's definitely more of that happening from you and your team and
it's interesting.
your way to source. So I can feel that. Thank you.
Yeah, no, it feels good too, because then especially when you come out feeling that energized, I could honestly, I could go dancing right now.
That's awesome. All good, huh? Yeah, that's fine. And how are you going, Joanna? I'm not sure.
I'm fine, thank you.
You're good? Did you say
you're good? Yeah, good. Yeah, it's a nice afternoon. Went for a walk down by the beach. It was really nice.
Feeling all energized from
down here in Chindalee, up the road.
Oh, yep. Nice. Yeah, I haven't.
So it's nice to get out in the air and get a good.
Yeah, it's nice and blowy tonight. Like, well, it's settling down, but it's sort of nice and blowy. Like it felt quite fresh.
Yeah, it was nice and blowy down by the beach as well. Yeah, but that was forecast. That was forecast, so we would have the wind. Yeah. Although it looks like it's starting to drop, but it's always stronger at the beach, obviously. Yeah. On the beach. So, all right. So I'm not sure if Di will come in or not. I'll give it a few more minutes, but I know she had a very big weekend because she went to Carnic Island and was snorkeling and doing all that. So she's anything like me, loads of fresh air and sea air and water. I'm like knackered. It's like all that nature. I'm like, wow, nature energy.
Yeah. I'm do the same.
And just from the ocean, like I don't feel the ocean just as the ocean. I feel it as all these different levels of connection. So there's a lot of light codes and refreshed energies that you can pick up as well. So yeah, it's a good sort of up leveling when you go to the ocean for me. So, it's for everybody else.
I haven't been to the ocean in that long. I'll have to go for a drive just to
well, that's what happens when you live up in the hills out bush.
I know. I got all this abundance of nature around here. So it's lovely anyway.
Yeah. Anyways.
It's been pretty ripe up here this week.
What's that, sorry?
And it was pretty ripe up here this week. especially Friday. Ooh, boy, I was bubbling from the inside out. Yeah.
Nature.
Anyway, your turn. I'll shut up now.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah, so I'm not sure if Di's coming. She normally would send me something, but she may have even forgotten with work and everything, and just I kind of expected her to be a bit not with it. But she may well be. She might turn up. So what am we doing? Wisdom. Okay, so what had I written here? Friending more of your true self, removing doubt. Okay, and so we're flowing with the wisdom spectrum. So I kind of just want to go into an activation, I think, and take us into wisdom energy, and just feel and see and go wherever that goes, and we can talk about it afterwards, and go from there. I don't know if we're going to have a very big night of it, or just, like it'll be short and sweet.
Yeah, short and sweet.
That, unless you have any queries or questions that take us later. But okay, so I'll get you to just turn off your mics, and that way go into your own meditative space and what have you. And hopefully, Raylene, your cooking won't buzz, but hey, if it does, you got the recording, you can go back anytime, once I put it up, of course. Okay, let's get into this. All right, just take a few deep breaths and just relax, settle yourself down. It's good if you can to have your feet on the ground for this particular one. I think you both have, but it doesn't really matter if you don't, but it's just, well, I just feel like it's appropriate for us today. Okay. Just relaxing into yourself, heading into your inner space, dropping nicely into your body, into your calm, into that inner world. Just being the presence that you are. So we want you to imagine the brown energies coming from your heart center. If you don't feel like you're really open to a particular one, just imagine that there's a little knock at a door and you're opening that keyhole, putting the key in and opening the door, accepting the brown energy that wants to come through in whatever color tones it wants to be for you. You might be experiencing a tan brown, a cream brown, a chocolate brown. It might be quite metallic and bronzy. It could be any kind of brown or browns, but I feel like there's one particular brown for you right now that is being opened from the inside of your heart out. So you are sticking the key in, opening the door. You may have another door to open another brown if you feel it. It's completely up to you. You are in your own presence, in your own experience here with the wisdom and the lights on high and the innate intelligence flowing from source, flowing through from life, from the very nature that you are, connecting into this being, this human, this body, this reality, and flowing out into your world. Let it fill your body, let it permeate your cells, let it release anything that is not your true self. Feeling this energy lifting those molecules of negativity, of inner critic, of doubt, letting them float away with the energy leaving your body. The brown is coming through from your heart, filling your body into your cellular nature and releasing those molecules through your body out into your aura and up and out, releasing them away from you. Spirit are taking those molecules that aren't you. Now we're going to use some wording that may sound a little alarming, but it isn't. It's just the way we're describing the energy field. So we want you to be aware that there is a ghost of you. It is like a ghosting or a ghost or a spectrum, a spectre of you. It carries a certain energy, but it carries a critic style energy. This critic poo-poos a lot of what you say, a lot of what you do. It doesn't let you feel and acknowledge who you are. It stalks around you, irritating, annoying, stopping good ideas from becoming action, holding your tongue when you need to speak, fogging your mind so you can't even understand what it is you needed to say or felt you could have done. Stopping your feet from moving, from grounding into more of yourself and your nature. We want to acknowledge this energy and say, you've done a good job of being the critic. And sometimes that critic feels it's protecting us. Other times it is just a saboteur. It is time for it to go. And I want you to see that brown energy from your heart expand out and gather this spectre, this ghosty self, this thought patterns up into its nature and spin it away. Molecules coming apart like dust, being swept away. The brown energy is filling your space, filling all that you are. And you can see that it is opening up the light. There is new energy available to you. You can see the field opening as the dust is swept away. And in front of you is a higher version of yourself, that light version, that knowing version. It's flipping a coin. And this coin carries the energies of conformity on one side and non-conformity on the other. It flips this coin and it lets it land when it is appropriate to conform or hold your tongue in the moment, in the presence, not because of safety, but because of the greater picture, because of the greater knowing. If I say something here, will it be received? Am I just being sucked back into someone else's spectre and energy of thought patterning and conditioning? Or are they ready? Are they open? So sometimes this coin lands and it's conformity, and other times it lands and it is non-conformity. In other words, this energy is not stuck. It is able to be a currency that can be utilized and exchanged when and if it feels correct to do so. You may find that you use conformity with a higher vibe group and you create together. You may find that you use non-conformity with a higher vibe group and you move into other areas of expansion and expression, because that is where the universal workings want to take you. So even though they may feel like your tribe, you may not hang with them necessarily, or you may come and go. In the same way, on the lower values, there are those who are pulling you into conforming, and there will be times where you lightly conform. It looks like you're applying the conformity for them, but you're really applying it because there's no reason to push change upon that person. They can't accept it. There's no reason to let your light be super strong around them. Instead, you hold that light for you and you keep their stuff at bay and you move lightly through them. And to them, it looks like you're conforming, and yet you're really not conforming. So you have control of this exchange coin, how you interact, how you express, and how you exchange currency with that being or with others, or the space that you're in, the environment, the situation. There's a lot of free movement. You carry the sovereignty energy. You carry the bliss energy. The red and the yellow are already flowing and open for you, and they are increasing and strengthening through your body. And now you carry the brown wisdom. You allow these to work their magic for you. And this is how you forgive. So it may appear to someone that you are forgiving, loving, and you are, but the truth is you are giving for you. And some people may find that they get cross because you are not giving the way they expect to be given. You are not acting with your energy in the way that they expect. You are not conforming with your energy. So there is actions that you may take, things you may say or may not do. There'll be discernment. That is pure wisdom at its best. But it is because you are acting from the inner journey, from the higher requirement, the bigger picture. That spectre energy doesn't live there anymore. You don't critique yourself on the fact that you're being good enough or appropriate, or you recognize that they're not happy. And so you start to change your model back to what they had before. Instead, you find your higher vibe, you listen to your presence, you flow the energies of wisdom, sovereignty, and bliss, and you allow yourself to be free in the movement. Your higher self has the coin and flips it where it's needed. It lands any way it wants in the appropriateness for you, the highest version for the bigger picture. You are coming from the highest good, even if someone else can't feel it, see it, or know it. Valuing this in yourself, allowing and accepting this in yourself is the path. So keep seeing the brown energies. Keep working with those browns. You are reminded all around you by the earth, by the trees, by all the natural items that are brown, and even by items in the shop that may be plastic, but they're brown. They're reminding you, because you are pulling reality into your world the way it needs to speak to you. So brown is there for you to be remembered. And it reminds you, as you eat brown food, as you deal with brown items, as you see the brown in your sleep, in your rest, in your meditation, and as you are reminded of it, keep flowing it, because in it is the wisdom of you. It is naturally flowing from source along your line of life, your elegance, your way, your heartbeat. It is fortuning you and your life. You are the doorway, you are the conduit, you are letting it flow. You are learning to raise the vibration of every molecule in this physical body so that this light can work its magic, can be you, true you. So keep flowing this energy right now and experiencing this higher version of self, allowing it space. It guides you as that coin of non-conformity or conformity, guides your energies, when and where to land on that spectrum, how far to go or how far not to go, when to do and when not to do. This inner guidance will become more and more your natural choices, actions, feelings. And you won't feel the urge to apologize for being you. You'll move away from those who feel you must be something else. You'll give up the energies that keep you in the matrix, heavily ensconced in it. This world is here for us to utilize lightly at this point. We are bringing the higher vibes, the higher energies into this world, are changing us, allowing that energy to flow into the universal workings and guiding us in movement, in action. The entire time, our aim is to remain in that presence that is deep within and to allow it to become more and more embodied, more and more us. That central you. Just feeling the energy flow, being in the presence. Letting yourself drift. Notice what you notice. Letting the molecules of dust float away. Clearing the path. Purifying your pathway. Clearing your mind. That spectre has no space anymore. It is not you. Releasing the love into your field, into your body, into your experience. You are the beauty. You are the truth. Not going to pull you out quickly, just take your time when you're feeling like you're energy stops pulsating, if that's how it's feeling for you. Feels like that for me. So I want to read something that I went and found from 2012, where I had begun my spiritual journey. And I've written here, I think I'd done my first group reading session with people just not long after this in 2012. And it was the first time I'd done readings for strangers. So it was pretty intense for me. But I had written, I am grateful that my life has taken this turn. It is not easy to accept that I am doing it right, but I'm realizing that, as I seem to always be saying now, there is no right or wrong. It is what you feel is right for you right now. If it feels right, then it is right. Follow the feelings, not the beliefs of what you or others think. Trust life's ebbs and flow. Flow with the changes, the opportunities, and accept all is as it should be. I've always looked at the word belief and had a laugh about the fact that it has lie in it, spelt B-E-L-I-E-F-S. It's just always had this thing of if you lie in a belief for too long, you'll start to live the lie. It's just like, but it's not necessarily that's a truity at all. It's just how it was for me to keep moving myself out of beliefs, to the point where even the belief I had developed or come to understand, or the spiritual knowledge or the understanding of myself or what was going on in those moments. And then down the track, I'd have a whole different belief, like I could let go of what that was and see it as something different. In the same way that God, universe, those kind of words have had different meaning to them and they'll change according to where I've shifted to. So it's me shifting into that greater space of me and looking at what is lying in there. You know what I mean? Not necessarily is it a lie or not a lie, but even to look what is lying in there that maybe has been forgotten, you know, and it's my wisdom ready to come through, or maybe it's asleep and it needs to get woken up, you know. So the word belief has been a kind of tricky little play on things for me to keep me shifting. Yeah, anyway, just felt the urge to throw in that. I haven't thought about all of that for a while, but I was taken back to it yesterday when they took me there. And I myself was going through the conformity, non-conformity ideas of seeing an aspect of myself that needed to be loved and let go, because it was like, well, thanks for conforming all the time to keep me safe energetically, but you're not helping me anymore. Off you go. You know, and feeling more in my presence and letting that presence come through to fill the space that character aspect sort of took on, you know. So yeah, I've traveled these things very closely with you ladies, which is interesting. Okay, how was that for you? Anything you want to speak to? Or
it was very lovely.
Yeah, it was really nice.
What I did find was as you're speaking the words, I was already in front of you.
I like it when that happens. It's a real confirmation really that we're all in the same space doing the thing.
Yeah. So it was really good for me that I was like, oh wow, yeah, we're back to it.
Yeah. It's that thing, isn't it? It's like you already kind of knew what was going to be said and where to go, and you're already doing it, or you've already let it in, and you're like, oh, okay. No, that's awesome. I think
it did. Really, and I felt the flow coming not only from my heart, but I felt it like it was coming out all my pores, my back, and all the way down to my hips. And yeah, and even the energy in my legs was strong. Mostly my left leg, for some reason.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well,
really
I think
why.
flowing these energies regularly this is the training that we're in the mystic training, to become this being your isness, your norm. You know what I mean? That you're flowing this light quite naturally, and it feels very comfortable for you. But because we're so energy aware and you know, sensitive, we will feel the shift in our bodies, and we will feel the energy, and it may or may not register to the body as anger or fear or pain or any of those kind of things, but it can also be pleasure and, you know, all that sort of stuff. So what the body's sort of saying sometimes, you know, it's just like, okay, I can feel shifts and changes, and not getting too caught up in what is that's leaving me. Is it anger right now? That's why it feels a bit prickly, or is it, you know, and now is it shifting with some sort of love and joy, and that's why it's all bubbly? Like, you know what I mean? It's like, I don't know. I think over time it will reconstitute, is the word I would kind of use, which is like, you know, constituted cordials, you know, when they're like really concentrated and then they water it down a bit, sort of thing. Or it's something like jelly crystals that constitute, you know, where it's really dried and then you add water to it. I feel like that's kind of, when I say the word reconstituted, it's like shifting the makeup of the thing. You know, you might go from water to steam kind of thing, where it's a totally different makeup, but it's still got the same constitutions in the elements, but they're flowing. They're, you know, they've got a totally different, they're not dry and hard and that kind of energy, you know.
And my critic, well, the critic, she was rolled up in the brown energy like a sheet. And then when I released it, and then it's like I rolled out the sheet and she just went into a million pieces of everything everywhere.
Awesome. I thought, cool. Wow, look at that power you guys have got.
That was awesome.
It's amazing.
Enjoyed that.
So if you're feeling to do it again, do it again. You may find yourself opening a different door or a different key, you know, to the, it's like you've got the keys, we just need to let it through. And in right divine timing for our bodies and for our experience and so forth, I think, you know. For sure. How did it go for you, Joe? What was anything noted?
Well, I thought it felt like it was getting really relaxed, and the activation was, you know, happening.
Yeah, for you, that's good, because do you find you get a bit uptight or a bit tight in the body at times?
Yes.
Yeah, so your body needs that ability to relax, let the adrenal
meditation,
things stop. I think your energy has kind of developed this way of being on guard, if you know what I mean, and that
on what?
On guard. And that
right.
creates that tightness, you know, ready to swing a sword if you need to, feeling, you know, that kind of and so I feel like your body really needs to keep flowing these energies, and the relaxed state is something your body is learning to live in.
Learning.
It's literally changing your what's the words? I don't know if you call it the adrenal system and the, you know, the hormonal endocrine system. And the nerves. It's literally defuzzing, relaxing, all of that. So keep doing those sorts of things, exercises with the lights. And again, it might be wisdom today, but tomorrow you might feel like you want to run green, you know, which is peace. I've put the PDF. You know, or it just might be light. You don't need to fully comprehend, you know. It's not all broken down into one thing. But we are kind of piecing it bit by bit so that we can feel it, like we're not overwhelmed with something. We've just got one color stream coming in, we're feeling that, letting it do its thing in the same way that you wouldn't whack, 10 different essential oils on you, because it would be like too much, you know what I mean?
It'd be too much.
Yeah, although the combinations are of course, the same thing happen, but we are kind of, it's like practicing the D note on a particular instrument, and then practicing the D note on another instrument, and the note on it, but they're all brown, but they're a different kind of noise because they're a different instrument, if you know what I mean. Well, that's the same with what it's affecting in the body. So if you open, you did this exercise again, and you opened even the same door, but maybe I feel like it'd be another facet of your light, you know what I mean? It's like another facet of your diamond light heart. And it might be a different sort of tone or coloring, or even same but slightly different. It would have a different effect through the body. It would be targeting differently, or taking you to that next level. It's like, okay, just learning the spectrum, eventually I can run the entire brown spectrum through my body. You know what I mean? Like, so and it is, it just accepting my wisdom is the bottom line. My cat meowing at the window. So just accepting that wisdom. So what else? Anything else? Just the relaxed state mostly? Did you have an idea of any particular type of brown, or any other?
Well, kind of it's kind of a smoky brown.
Ah, nice.
The
taupe, or whatever they call it, which has got that grade.
Yeah.
A very fashionable color. For housing. That's my interior designer coming back in. And then your critic, did you have a sense of that, or not really?
Yes, I have a sense of criticizing, and constantly finding fault, and criticizing myself. I grew up like with constant criticism, and then it's like, they stopped, and then I took up where they left off.
Because it's totally imprinted in your system, isn't it? It's like it takes on its own persona, and it energetically, it's like it maybe only have a certain repertoire, but it carries on as sort of, this is what we would often call an entity, but it is actually a combination of us imprinting with the imprints and the conditions and the patterns, and creating its own persona, its own character. But it is a limited character.
It is.
It can only do so much, but that it's like focus is so strong that it's there all the time. It's given rise
in all the time.
Wisdom voices. So breaking that down, definitely with
breaking that down,
coming from your own heart,
getting rid of that pattern, way of being.
Because if we try to figure it out with our brain, we're at a loss already. This is why you have chosen to come along with me and go with this. Okay, what is this light energy? Let's feel into it. What is this energy I am? What else is there? Because there's something else that it's like trying to battle it from the human mind, or even that sort of higher vibe human mind it's not full enough to and so much of it is enmeshed, and it's trying to pull apart something that has, it's not just gone like that, it's gone like, like you can't even pull apart all the little crystal pieces to it, you know what I mean? It just non-crystal pieces, plastic is probably what it's more like. It's so solid, so just bringing in higher vibe energy to break it up, that's your power. And
you can let go of that, Joey, because you are amazing. So
thank you.
That's coming from the people that love you, mate. So that critic can go and slide down the hill.
Yeah. And I think definitely when you're feeling that critic, then try to get really in your presence and move back from the critic and see from the presence, from that one who sees the one who's been a shithead. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
who's giving shit to you, the human. Like there's a layer of three, kind of. There's the human, there's the aspect or character, energy that is now the creating whatever right now, and then there's that super presence. And so practicing that super presence and flowing the brown, flowing the bliss, flowing all these energies is part of that super presence that it separates us and allows us, and it's doing the work. Like it's literally, it may not have been able to break through yet to fully get rid of this. This is a very entwined thing, if you know what I mean. But if you keep doing this practice, you'll discover that it starts to break up because your body relax and let the flow happen. So we can practice things like cutting cords and all of that, but how do you cut 1 billion cords? Like how do you that keep growing back? You know what I mean? Like it's that. So it's kind of this, well, I'll bring in this higher vibe energy and let it do its beyond quantum capacities, because I don't even know how to speak what it does. Magic. It does its magic in all its versions, So and that's energy. It's constantly being constructed and deconstructed. We have the power to call on energies that can help us deconstruct it. And then we have those aspects of ourselves that are stepping back in that know this magic. And then, you've been bringing those energies into yourself through your tarot, through your recognition of the archetypes, through your knowledge of yourself as a soul, all the things you've been doing spiritual work-wise. And now there's this power to sort of really shift the body in it and to become the creator we can be, the mystic creator, which is what we want to explore. That's what we want to be finding out. What is it like to be a world full of mystics, right? So,
I've got a silly question. Maybe not silly, but can you run all the colours at once?
Yep.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Because I kept thinking, can I run all those colours together?
You will only ever get what you can handle anyways. You know what I mean? So you might be saying, okay, I'll just run all the colours, and you might be like, right, I'm calling in green peace, I'm calling in purple wisdom, wonder, I'm calling in brown, and use that thing to just call it all in. You'll be given the energy that's appropriate for you right now. You know what I mean? The combination. And so you could be doing this same, process, and saying, right, green wisdom, can't even say the words, green peace, brown wisdom, blah, blah, blah. And just, running it through and seeing them come through. You might feel like you can run them all at once, or you might feel like, okay, that one's done, now the next one, and just, But it would possibly be different every time you're doing it if we actually knew what was in the energy itself. You know what I mean? Because we're talking the whole green spectrum of infinite greens. Green, but it's going to come through appropriate to your tune, to your requirements, because it's source knows, right? We're just learning to flow it, to let it be part of our currency, so that we can actually create an exchange with it. And when we start creating an exchange with it, we're actually in the process of construction and deconstruction, which is the constant, right? Order and chaos, reordering and chaos isn't necessarily a bad thing. Chaos just means pulling things apart. So, when you decide to clean up a cupboard and you pull everything out, it's like, oh my God, it's chaos when I pull it out. And then you reorder it the way you want to and get rid of a couple of items, and suddenly it's pretty much all the same stuff, right? But it was when somebody walked in and you're mid all of this and you're spreading it out and trying to see what you've got, it's taken up the entire room. It looks like a bomb's hit it. You put it all back into order. So that chaos is excellent, because now you know what you've got. Now you know what you don't want. Now you can, you know. So
wonderful. Makes sense.
Kind of looking in all our little cupboards and corners and checking what we've got and what's useful. And
I've been cleaning mine out.
Yeah, and you find things in our talents and abilities that are deeper than there was no space for them before, and now those magical abilities, those energy abilities, those concepts of and ideas can now come out, and they're being repackaged with things that are part of this world, you know, and but they're repackaged in a way that presents with the energy behind it and the knowledge and that higher wisdom behind it, you know, that we're learning about. And the only way to learn about it is to be in it, like physically running it, so that we can then come to these epiphanies and ideas and innovative sort of finesse that just is creation, right? Science now is so like it's this whole thing now about debunking the other scientist, or you didn't do it, you know, you didn't blind test it enough, or where was the philosophical ideas of, you know, like Albert Einstein sort of dreaming up things when he was 13 and basically creating the beginnings of relativity at that age, you know, and through looking at life and acting in life, you know. So, you know, a lot of stuff now is kind of, too busy trying to prove something that we deep down know exists already. Why don't we just find out how we can use it, you know? But I don't know. I don't want to poo-poo science. I just feel like it's been taken over by the corporate machine as well. You know, the machine has taken it over as well. And so even valid kind of people who are pulling this wisdom and flowing this in, you know, and they may not be consciously thinking of themselves as spiritual, but they're pulling this stuff, you know, and creating things. It never gets off the ground because it's got to fight against what is already established, like the corporate world, the pharmaceutical world, the you know, the oil and gas and car world, and, you know, all that stuff. And so things just get lost. They never get a chance. They get debunked. I don't know why I'm talking science right now. So in a lesser term, because you, me and Joe aren't scientists, nor is Di, to my knowledge. She might be, I don't know. We aren't sort of looking for that science, but, you know, there may be somebody who comes into this mystic thing and goes along with this and can be finding and answering science stuff, you know. There might also be somebody that your light opens up and brings attention to. They don't have time to be going and doing this stuff with us, but they're here with a purpose, and they just need to meet the right person or have that light field hit them, and it initiates something and opens up something, and they've got this timely thought, this aha moment that now can be introduced into the world, repackaged, right? And we're doing that in our own spiritual stuff. We don't feel like, and maybe it's not even accepted as easily, some of the old kind of spiritual, you know, ways of doing things and modalities and stuff don't seem to be landing as easily. Because there's something, either one, people aren't really accepting it, or they're just not coming into our field because it's not for us. There's something else for us. We kind of want the excitement of a different package, a different feel, a different way, and it'll come together. It is coming together. It is happening because we're letting the flow happen. For these new ideas, these new wisdoms to come through us, applicable to us individually and our lives.
Absolutely. Oh, it's lovely.
Feeling burpy with all this. I'm like, burpy.
Release.
Hearing something out of it's all belly orientated for me, that's for sure at this point. Anyway. What am I digesting? Wisdom. Bring on the real stuff. All right. Okay. Is there anything else you guys wanted to ask me, or do you think we're done?
No, I think you covered it.
Done and dusted.
Yep.
Yes.
The dust.
No, that was lovely. Enjoyed it.
Enjoyed that. Yeah, lovely. Thank you.
Good.
I'm going to go back over and watch all the videos again. I think they're really worth watching again. So.
Oh, good.
Thought,
Yeah, well, because the mystic way one with the I'm awesome at. How did you go with any of that? Have you had a chance to sit down with that? Try.
I went through it with it, but I haven't. But but what I did, I think I did belt out a few of my own, but it was just in my head.
Yeah.
And then, but I haven't written it down yet, but I will.
Yeah, write them down. And even if you're just popping them and having a read once in a whenever, when you feel drawn to it.
Yeah.
Because it's like putting something out there that you may not fully comprehend or even recognize, oh, is that really me? I don't know. But you've opened the door to what it wants to flow through.
Absolutely.
And so it's sort of like owning the value of it, but we're kind of letting the energy flow. And it's like each time you read it, you'll probably feel more like, yeah. Oh, yeah. Like and you can see the applicability of it, and you can really begin to embrace it, if you know what I mean. I mean, that's what affirmations are for, you know. Like an affirmation, you're like, oh, I don't know if it feels right for me. Well, that's the point. You're to grow into it, you know, putting it in your focus and bringing it into you as an energy. Well, that's the same as the I'm awesome at. And it is the at is a very flowy, like I'm awesome at allowing this. There's a movement in at, you know what I mean? Like, awesome's an interesting word, you know.
Yeah. It is, because I do use the I am a lot, but I like the I am awesome.
Yeah, and it sort of has a sense of wonder, and I think it brings you into that grateful space. Initially, it can be kind of like, oh, I'm not awesome, and have some trigger, you know what I mean? And if that's the case, then work through the trigger. But I think it's that sort of brings you into that space of wonder, which is the purple anyways, but that sense of awe for life, for appreciation and gratefulness, you know, that kind of thing. Yeah. This is really starting to take it into you. So like, what's one I've got here? So the one that I was drawn to, because I've just got mine on the table, I've been kind of, and then I've heard a lot. So a lot of that's kind of like, oh, I can't look at them all. You know what I mean? But I've got, before I even started here and sat down, I was like, oh, is this applicable? I'll pull it over. And I was led to the I'm awesome at creating from my heart. And here I am now thinking we've just done from that. Oh, I didn't realize that. But I had a quick read of that when I was just sitting here in the 5 minutes beforehand kind of feeling. So yeah, interesting. They're all relevant for me as a flow, as a being. And yours will be perfect for you in whatever space you're in right now, you know. Because when you tune in with that, sit and watch that, and then sit on your own and tune in and write them, you've really opened up the energy space for that higher light version to speak through you on it. And if you're not getting words at this stage, I know you two probably are, but this is for people watching, then just let the energies flow, because you definitely are opening up. You just need space for that to come. And you might find that, you know, 3 days down the track, you just have this sudden, oh, hang on, I'm awesome at, and I want to write it down. Or you're in another, you know, meditative time or quiet time, middle of the night, make sure you got a little notepad, pad and pencil next to your bed in case something comes, and you write it down, you know.
I made that mistake. Must keep the pen and paper beside the bed.
Yeah, well, I don't have a pen now because I'm like, ugh. So I've written on the actual side table. So now I use a pencil. But then sometimes I look at this little piece of paper notebook I've got next to me, and I'm like, and I've written, but what I've done is written the same line over the top of the same line over the top. And I'm like, oh, okay, what was I thinking? What came to me? You know, and you write it down because you think, oh, I'm so tired, I've got to go back into whatever that was. Hilarious. And then other times I'm like, oh, that's a really good thing, and I'll write it down, and then I'll be like, I have no idea what it means. But it's okay. I got the energy of the time. So it'll grow, it'll come into applicable if required. It's just the brain trying to keep up, isn't it? Yeah. All right, guys,
some weeks it's like that.
Okay.
It's lovely. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thanks very much.
Have a great week.
And,
I've put the Q&A thread up there too, which is a share, and you could write up any of your I'm awesomes or any things that you want to ask or just whatever over the
beautiful.
if you want to sort of throw something up that creates a bit of communications and comments or whatever, or asking, hey, could you cover this in your YouTube, or here's a question I want to ask next week, I'm going to put it in here now because I'll forget. Whatever, right? There. I didn't put one up last month, but it is part of the tier 2 that I throw that up so that we can have that communication.
Lovely.
Yeah, awesome. All right, beautifuls.
All right, darling, I'm going to go get dinner out the oven.
You and your wisdom, off you go.
Thank you
both.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, darlings.
Bye.